All right, good morning, guys. Back at it with another MLB DFS video. We looked amazing for the longest time. I was consistently majority of the night over 300 bucks cashing. The thing that was kind of annoying was the first of all, Rafael Devers. The Mets game got delayed. So did Atlanta Braves. Funk literally texted me, hear me out. Williams, trust him. I was kind of like, oh God, all right, whatever. He put up 61 at 1%. The thing that was annoying, Cleveland just couldn't hit that day, so he didn't get the win points. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, but had 12 strikeouts, which was good. Ozzie Albies got a home run with 2 RBIs. Olson, 2 for 4, 2 RBI and a run. Lindor, 3 for 4, 3 runs and a walk. Francisco Alvarez, 1 for 4, 2 runs and a walk. Pete Alonso just hit 2 home runs, and that kind of stung a bit. Nimmo, 0 for 5. Masataka Yoshida, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Devers, 1 for 4 with a run. Some of the stuff was pretty tilting. Um, as in Dever swung at a low pitch, bottom of the ninth, and it was a ground rule double, and he hit it to right field. Where at Fenway, the right field wall is like not even a wall, practically. So just a little more power to walk it off would have been nice, but can't complain when you cash. So far this month, um, 2 days ago was our only day that we didn't cash, but recap yesterday for me.
Yeah, I don't know how I keep managing to stack teams without the best player. I don't know why I think that way. I should have just found the 500 from Alvarez to Pete. I mean, they both had similar home run projections on Ballpark Pal, but I mean, one had 57 and one had 12. So that's a pretty huge difference. Nemo also going over 5, stung in that stack. But 1% Gavin Williams, that was kind of just a shot in the dark. I would obviously didn't expect that from him. I was hoping for like 30 at 7,900. I just wanted the bats to pull through. Ozzy did his job. Lindor, Olson were fine. But other than that, the paying up for bats was kind of not the move. And getting to Peralta, who also matched Gavin Williams plus some, he had 67. And then min price Pablo Reyes had 50 at like 5%. And then Frelick for Milwaukee also at 50 at like 10%. That would have brought you to the top. But I mean, it was a fine day. Pretty surprising, but bigger slate today. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's an interesting, so it also kind of funny. Right after we got done recording and the video was uploading, I get a lineup from Funk. I'm like, dude, it's noon. And it literally had all the pieces from Milwaukee that you would need. I just thought that was kind of funny. But kind of like I said, we cashed, who cares, staying consistent. So right now for the pitchers, Scherzer, Valdez, Gilbert, Giolito, Bibby, Kikuchi, Arias, Keller, Crawford, Schmidt, Miley. This is literally every pitcher right here. Ownership is over here. It's pretty cut and dry, to be honest with you. I mean, let me just hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, the two getting ownership are the two that I like the most, to be honest, and I hate it. Scherzer is going to look great pitching in Oakland. He looked a little bit shaky against the start against the White Sox, but he was able to rally together and 9 strikeouts, 6 innings. The other guy I like is Giolito, and really just a pricing thing. 8,100 just seems a little too cheap for him. I was looking earlier at DraftKings pricing. He was like high nines, I thought. Here, let me just check again. Yeah, he's 9,900 on DraftKings. So you're getting him a bit of a discount on Fanduel. Usually it's only within $1,000 and maybe $500 difference between the sites. So almost a 2K difference. I like the lean with Giolito here, especially at home against San Fran. Other than that, like Valdez and 11K versus probably the best team in baseball the last couple weeks. Probably not for me. BB's been pretty good the last month or so. 9,700 is basically his ceiling price, though. And after Toronto literally got dookied on yesterday, they're probably not going to get shut out again today, basically. Gilbert, we never get him right. He's kind of like Senga for us, so probably just not going to talk about him. Kikuchi, no chance. Brady Singer, 9K, get out of here. Mitch Keller, 8,800. Just don't play anyone against Atlanta. Italian, definitely not. Urias, no thanks. Miley, I I guess. I'm not. No, I don't think I like Miley. I don't know. I'd rather play Giolito at 8,100. Crawford, sure. I mean, he's got some decent upside at 7,900. Sears is getting a little ownership, which is surprising against Texas, but I mean, go for it if you want. That's not my cup of tea. Schmidt, I mean, it's the White Sox, but also he's looked pretty meh. Grayson Rodriguez, 6,800 is cheap for him, but I'm not challenging Houston. That's basically it, I think. I don't think any played anyone under Rodriguez.
The only thing I'm gonna say, flip a coin, go to Scherzer or go to Giolito. Like Valdez is interesting, but it's Baltimore. I mean, Valdez, his last start was a no hitter, but the thing is we played him against Oakland and he got rocked. Gilbert's kind of the same thing with Senga. I mean, San Diego just hasn't been able to hit, so he's only getting 3%, so that might be a decent pivot. But then you can just go to Giolito at 8,100 and pay up for bats. That's the way I see that. Cutter Crawford against Kansas City? Maybe. I don't know. It's just because it's Kansas City who strikes out a lot. They're not good. I mean, I would just go Scherzer or Giolito, and then I guess if you want to get different, go to Gilbert, Crawford, or Valdez. The thing with Kikuchi is he just gives up a lot of power, and obviously Cleveland doesn't strike out. Um, I don't know how good Arizona has been recently, but I guess Urias at 8,500 isn't a bad option. I don't know. Although there's a bunch of pitchers on the slate, and it's a bigger slate, there's only like two decent pitching options. Because why pay 90 or 10-8 for Valdez where you can get 10-5 Scherzer with a better matchup and a better chance for the Rangers to get the win victory? You know what I mean? All right, I'm losing brain cells talking about pitching just because it's so cut and dry. So top stacks tool: Atlanta, Boston, Cubs, Dodgers, Yankees, Rangers, Brewers, Houston, KC. Here's every stack right now. Some pretty good options today, in my opinion. Definitely can get a little different. So, where are you thinking?
Yeah, I think another reason I like playing Giolito today at 8K is I really like the offenses. Looks like some pretty decent spots. If you go to Ballpark Pal home run zone, I mean, there's multiple spots with over 3 home runs projected. One, two, three, four. Basically 5 different spots. Um, mean, it's rare to see over like 3 games on a main slate with that. So I think I like getting to offense more today rather than paying up for pitcher. Even if Chalk Scherzer drops like 60 on my head, I'll wear that cap if Gio is able to drop like 40. Um, as for overall stacks, teams I wrote down: Atlanta, Boston, Milwaukee, Cubs, Yanks, Houston, Pittsburgh. Yeah, those were my main teams today. I think one for me right now is Chicago against Carrasco. They've just looked so good the last couple weeks. Even if you don't want to ride the whole hot streak thing, more data driven, projected for 1.6 home runs today. They're fairly cheap. I like them as like maybe a 3 man. As for 4 mans, I'm not sure. I mean, Milwaukee is just always too cheap, which is why I almost got to them yesterday, just on a limb. Projected for 5.6 runs, 1.6 home runs. Decent spot for them, and you only have to pay like 3K for all their guys. I mean, Adames is like 3K, Contreras is like 3K. I mean, the only guy you got to get to is Yelich at like 3.7 probably. Yankees, again, they were pretty disappointing yesterday, but I think they're in a decent spot here. Um, either side of the Houston Baltimore game, if either of the pitchers blow up, I think it's pretty interesting. Both pretty good offenses. That's about it. I mean, always play Atlanta too, but don't really like talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, Boston, the Cubs, Dodgers look good. I hate to say it, but the Yankees look good. Tucson, I mean, he can get blown up, but he's serviceable, I guess. But I mean, a couple of Yankees bats wouldn't be a bad idea. Texas at Oakland, it's a little tricky just because it's a bad ballpark, but I mean, the Rangers won 5-3 yesterday, so it's not that big of a deal. Milwaukee against Freeland. Do I think they're going to do what they did yesterday? No. But do I think that they put up some runs and win the game? Probably. Houston against Rodriguez is kind of interesting. Just because Rodriguez was supposed to be this huge prospect. The Orioles are pretty high on him. Can't remember who I said it about. I think I said about Quinn Priester from Pittsburgh. Like Rodriguez is young. In the next few years, he'll probably be amazing. He'll be pretty good. Playing against Houston with, Tucker, Altuve, Alvarez might be a little difficult for him. Seattle facing Nick Martinez. I just looked at Martinez. I'll pull it back up. I just looked at his pitching scores from the last his last few starts. I'll just say this, he's 5,600 as a pitcher on Fanduel. So Seattle is very interesting. I think he's more of a relief guy, and they're just giving him the start today. From what I'm seeing here, dating back from July 21st, his highest points he scored were at Colorado. He scored 18 fantasy points. And right now, Seattle is getting 2% ownership share, 2% leverage score. Their stack score isn't amazing, but I mean, going up against Nick Martinez, who just is like a relief guy, is probably just a bullpen game today. Definitely not a bad spot to get to. Trying to think if there's anything else. These stack scores are pretty close together. It's not like there's a clear cut, you need to get, this stack. You know what I mean? There really isn't anything. It ranks it Boston, Atlanta, and the Yankees as a top three in terms of stack score. But I would focus on Atlanta, Boston, Cubs, Dodgers against Brandon Fad, kind of the same thing as Rodriguez. Supposed to be a great pitcher, but Fad is just, I think his ERA is like, last time I remember seeing it, it was over 8. Yankees, Texas, Milwaukee, Houston, and Seattle look pretty good. Mets again don't look that bad just because it's Tyone pitching. Mets are gaining 4% ownership share. Their stack score isn't amazing. Minus 3% leverage, but definitely not a bad idea to get to a couple bats there. I don't know if we four-man stacked them again. I mean, it sort of worked in a sense yesterday, but there's just better options, in my opinion. Rank your stacks really quick. I don't know if you did, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I mean it's very similar to the stack tool, just maybe in a little bit of a different order. Prioritize Cubs, Dodgers, Yanks, Milwaukee. You can get to Atlanta if you want. Boston, they continue to let everyone down, especially at high ownership. So maybe a sprinkle, but not someone I'm going to rely on. Uh, Pittsburgh, maybe. And I'm not really going to touch Seattle as much as you want to, just because I don't like playing against bullpen games. But
That's fair. Just come back to this part of the video when Seattle drops 13 in 3 innings. All right, let's do the lineup generator. See if we're smart men or dumb as hell. Fanduel main, we like to do 4-3-1 balanced. Do you want to lock in anyone like Geo or Scherzer? You want to lock in Geo? So let's just save 20. Oh, Trevor Story's back today. That's right.
really?
That's a 100% lock on Story.
Hold up.
Let's look at stack exposures really quick. We got 100% Boston again, like last night. Milwaukee 50, Atlanta 25, Yankees 19, Cubs only 6. A little bit of Milwaukee here. Contreras. Tyrone Taylor went kind of nuts yesterday. Not too bad. What happened to Volpe? He was supposed to be like this amazing guy that they called up, and he's just been brutal. Swanson hat morale look good. The GOAT, Suwinski. Also, we dodged a major bullet yesterday, fading Strider. I wouldn't say we dodged a bullet, but I mean, when a guy is like 30% owned and gets lit up by Pittsburgh, pretty good day, I'd say, right?
Yep. What do you finish with? -1.
Did he really? I thought he had like some like positive points. That's amazing. But yeah, so we locked in 100% Giolito, and this is what it spits out to us. You see the percentages on players. You have all the lineups to the left, so I don't know why it only saves 16, but whatever. Projected fantasy points, projected ownership between all the players. You can export it to a CSV, or if you're just hand building, you can just see what the tool likes and then just kind of go from there. Okay. Home run time. Lead us off.
Gonna go with the usual Dodger. Gonna go Muncie. I'm gonna go Devers because he's probably due after screwing everyone the last three slates, and then Castellanos.
I'm gonna go with Jazz Chisholm. I'm gonna go back to the well because it's been a while. Go Kyle Schwarber, and then I'm gonna go William Contreras. Castellanos. What happened in the world recently? Anything crazy
Not that I can think of.
besides the U.S. women's national team losing?
No.
I'm not really seeing anything. All right, that should just about do it though, unless you got anything that we missed or anything you want to recap?
No, not really. Just make sure to check out our lineup about 15 minutes before lock. Make sure to check out our description for stochastics data and all the tools that you need that we just went through. And like and subscribe if you haven't already.